but the teams are not. We're live at Giant Stadium. At Summerall with John Madden. And Phil Simms, John, has become a very, very important part of this Giant offensive picture now.
And a very popular guy. When he was introduced today, he got the biggest hand of all the Giants. And in talking to Phil Simms yesterday, he said two things we have to do today is, one, we have to spread them out. So they're going to use a lot of three wide receivers. Then the other thing we have to do, he said, is keep them off balance. So the Giants are going to use a little no huddle today.
And what about the Eagles? What's their approach?
Well, of course, they want Jim McMahon just to keep drives alive, give him that winning attitude that he does, and then they want to run the ball. And the interesting thing, Pat, is they're going to run right at Lawrence Taylor.
Well, they figure that cuts down some of that great pursuit that he's had over all the years. Ruzek to kick it off in the direction of Hampton and Meggett. An unseasonably warm day for this time of year in the Meadowlands. Very little wind, and it's almost hot. The Eagles have won 6 out of the 7 meetings recently. It will be Meggett at the 2. To the 28. Kowalkowski made the stop. Phil Simms opens at quarterback. The offensive line in front of him, Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Moore, Riesenberg back and healthy, and Howard Cross, the tight end. Wide receivers, Ingram and Baker, and Rodney Hampton and Maurice Carthon. Open in the backfield. Hampton the runner, Carthon the blocker. 1st and 10 Giants at their own 28. Ingram and Baker, wide left, 2 tight ends. Moat on the left side, Cross on the right. Thomas made the stop. None better than that front 4. White, Pitts, Brown, and Clyde Simmons, who always seems to have big days against the Giants. Joyner, Evans, and William Thomas, a very pleasant surprise. Jenkins and Allen, the cornerbacks. And the 2 hitters, the 2 safety men, Hopkins and Waters. 3 wide receivers. The 3rd, Odessa Turner. But Hampton gets the carry and gets a Giant first down past the 40. Stopped by Evans and Waters. 7-yard gain.
Well, the Giants started out doing what Phil Simms was talking about yesterday, and they second down coming in with 3 wide receivers, spreading that defense out. Now, if the Eagle defense stays bunched in, then Phil Simms feels that they can pass on it. If they spread out a little with them, then that's going to open some running lanes.
1st and 10 at the 41. Hampton is the lone setback. 2 tight ends again. Simms' first throw of the day, sidearms it incomplete, intended for Cross. Covered by Seth Joyner.
Yeah, one thing we talk about Jim McMahon being a competitor. I think when you think of the word competitor, the definition is Phil Simms. I mean, here's a guy who just loves to get in there and play you and will fight you all the way down the wire. And I know he loves to play the Eagles. And the interesting thing is the Eagle defense loves to play against Phil Simms, too.
2nd and 10. Out to about the 48. 7-yard pickup, tripped up by Simmons.
Yeah, you can see they have the 3 wide receivers, see, and that spreads the defense out a little. So what that does is that opens holes. You see the good blocking there. Now if we can get through this hole right there, you see there's no safety right up in there now because the 3 wide receivers have spread them out. So if they can get by the defensive lineman, then they can pick up 4 or 5 yards.
Good block by Oates on Pitts. 3rd down and 3. Giants at their own 48. Here's Hampton again, hit by Reggie White. Not enough for the first down, a gain of only 1.
And what that was, the Giants are going a lot of check with me. In other words, you don't call a play in the huddle. The quarterback says, just check with me. Then you go up to the line. He looks at the defense and calls a play there. Phil Simms called that series.
Landetta back to punt for the Giants. Rod Harris back deep for the Eagles. Harris at about his own 10-yard line. Harris will have a chance, and now he lets it bounce. Turner batted it backwards. Flag on the play. And they didn't quite get it down. It trickled into the end zone. So we'll check out the penalty. Odessa Turner tried to bat it back. And they couldn't come up with a handle. Tom White is the referee.
Was a great effort there because the ball would have been out there in the 1-yard line.
Blocking after a fair catch signal. Number 80, half the distance to the goal. It'll be first down for Philadelphia. Timeout.
Nothing in the first quarter. 11:59 left to play. The Eagles will take over deep in their own territory, just inside their 4.
We'll see the penalty here, Pat. Rod Harris, the punt returner, he fair catches. Now, after you fair catch, you don't have to catch it. You can let it go, but you can't make a fair catch signal and then block, and that's what the penalty was for. Wasn't much of a block, though.
Jim McMahon opens at quarterback. In front of him, Heller, McKnight, Alexander, Soap, Davis, the rookie, Keith Jackson, the tight end, Joseph and Byers, the runners, Barnett and Williams, the wide receivers. 2 tight ends for the Eagles. Long count by McMahon. To Byers. To about the 5. Stopped by Guyton and Freeman starting at nose tackle. Dorsey and Leonard Marshall, the ends. And the linebackers, the regulars, Banks, Reasons, Johnson, and Lawrence Taylor is back. In the secondary, Collins and Walls, the corner. Myron Guyton and Greg Jackson, the 2 safety men. Byers got 2 at 2nd and 8.
And that first play, they did run right at Lawrence Taylor. Only picked up a couple of yards.
James Joseph is the lone setback. Byers flank to the left. Jackson in motion. This is Joseph. Hit by Reasons. He got 2.
I'll tell you, they are running right at Lawrence Taylor, Pat, but they're bringing a whole load in there. They had a tight end on that side, Byers on that side, up in the line, and then they brought motion on that side. And by the time they finished, watch the left side here, they have 2 guys there and the 3rd tight end. By the time they finish, they have 3 guys blocking right at the point of attack. So they're going to run at him, but they're going to bring some people, too.
Here's a welcome addition this week. Eric Howard out with a bad back play. First time he's been available in about 10 weeks. Fumble by McMahon, and they scramble about the 1-yard line. Leonard Marshall all over the top of him, along with Jackson. A loss of 7.
And the Giants are playing with a heck of a lot more enthusiasm than they did a week ago. I'll tell you, this whole place is different. This whole team feels different. They're making things happen. That was a bad snap. McMahon was lucky that wasn't a Giant touchdown. Now I think this is where the Giants ought to go for the block. Because a punter can only get 10 yards deep. Usually the punter's 15 yards deep.
He's got to be careful not to step back on that white part. They came after it. Peagles gets it out to Megan. Megan at the 42. Inside the Eagle 30. 41-yard punt. 14-yard return. And so the Giants will take over in good shape. They have delighted the fans so far.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Hewlett-Packard LaserJet printers. They'll get you noticed. The light beer with a great imported taste, Amstel Light, right. And by Kodak Gold Film. Show your true colors.
Back at Giant Stadium, Pat Summerall, John Madden, 0-0. The Giants in good shape. 1st and 10 at the Eagle 29. Flag on the play. Hampton. Stopped by Byron Evans. There's Rich Kotite, the Eagle head coach. Tom White, the referee.
And I think Phil Simms picked up that penalty against the Eagles by his voice inflection. You know, one thing, you get an aggressive defense and your quarterback can really help you the way Simms did on that play.
Offsides, number 74 defense in the neutral zone at the snap.
Pitts
5 yards.
is the man who jumped.
You see, you're going to see him, but the thing that gets Pitts to do this is Phil Simms. See, he's changing his voice inflection. You know, and then he gives him that hard count, that hard hut, and that moves him just enough to get him in the neutral zone.
1st and 5. Baker out of bounds, 1st down.
I think one thing, if the Giants are, when they're going to pass, I think they're going to work mostly on that side. Try and work against Isaiah Jenkins, number 46, the left corner, and maybe away from Eric Allen, number 21, the best corner of the Eagles.
You look around the league at all those scores, nobody has scored yet.
That's just getting started. They haven't had time.
This is Hampton. Down to about the 11. Tripped up by Waters and Hopkins.
You know, we were talking to Ray Hanley yesterday. He said he feels against this defense, you have to run straight at it. You know, you can't throw screens. You can't run sideways and do a lot of sweeping and stuff because they pursue so well. And if you just look at the type of game plan that they've had so far, everything has been, boom, just running and slashing right at that Eagle defense, and it has them back on their heels.
2nd and 5. Hampton, the lone runner again. He takes the handoff. Hampton, stopped by Simmons. He got 3. It'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Simmons got him in a hole there that he might not let him up. That would have been a pin right there. You could have got 1, 2, 3. It's over. He's probably, of this group, Clyde Simmons is probably the most underrated. You always think of Reggie White. They're one of the best that's ever played the game. Jerome Brown, 99, he stops thing in the middle, and Clyde Simms has as many sacks as Reggie White does.
But over the years, he has been the guy that's really given the Giants fits.
Yeah, he always comes up with some crazy play, like an intercepted pass or blocked field goal or something.
To Ingram. That'll be enough for a 1st down to pick up a 5. Stopped by Waters.
And that's the thing that they have to do. You know, it's getting so tough, and the Giants have so much trouble inside that red zone. The red zone being once you get inside the 20, that what they're trying to do is hit in front of it instead of throwing it in the end zone. See, the Eagles are going to defend the end zone. You cut in front, and you hit it down at about the 2 or 3 yard line. Now, that's okay if you can get the ball in from there. Watch what Phil Simms has to throw through to get the ball to Ingram.
1st and goal at the 4. The give is to Hampton at the line of scrimmage by Evans. 1st. He got maybe 1.
This is where they get tough because you couldn't spread them out. When you're in the middle of the field with 3 wide receivers and stuff, you can spread them out. When you get down on the goal line, you can't spread them out. So now, that running at him now, you have Evans, he's in there tight. You have Jerome Brown, Mike Pitts, all those guys in there tight. And the closer you get, the tougher it is to run right at him.
Rodney Hampton has already carried 7 times. Picked up 31 yards.
Where I think you need some kind of play pass or something down here.
William Roberts lined up as the tight end on the left. Bullock in motion. Here's the pass out of the end zone. Through the uprights.
That's what Phil Simms was saying. He said it didn't fool anyone. Bud Carson, the defensive coordinator, he was expecting it. See, now he's putting Booty in there, and Booty goes in and puts up 5. Then he puts up 10. What that means is they're going to go 5 defensive backs. They're down there in goal line. Now they're changing from goal line defense to nickel defense on the goal line.
3rd and goal at the 3. Meggett alongside Sims. And he wants a timeout. No score yet. 6:23 left to play in the first quarter.
You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
Now you can look at what Phil Simms saw, and maybe he was looking out here and he wanted to throw a slant in here and he saw this and that took him away. But if he just would have looked over here to his right, this is just man on man, and it doesn't get any better than that. I think that was exactly what you're looking for. I think he was trying to throw a slant to the left, and he should have come back to the one-on-one on the right.
And there was a guy sitting in there to his left.
He couldn't throw the slant there.
Everybody jumped. Everybody points. Hard to figure out who's guilty.
Well, that's the first thing you do after the official throws the flag. You start pointing at the other guy.
Ball start. Number 30, moving prior to the snap. 5 yards penalty.
Meggett.
Still 3rd down.
Dave Meggett, see, he can't go forward now. Now, he could have gone forward and then set for a second, or he could have gone laterally in motion. But he couldn't go forward and not set. You see, looked like he read blitz and he was going to have to block, and he stepped up there, but he didn't set for a second after he went forward.
So it's 3rd and goal at the 8.
Slide down. Go 18. Go 18. Dead. Hunt.
Sims dumps it out to Meggett. Touchdown. Great play by Sims.
I'll tell you that was because he did a number of things there, Pat. He was in the shotgun. He audibleized. He read the blitz. He started to scramble, and then he threw a basketball pass to Meggett. Watch this. He audibleized. He's going to throw to his right. He sees that hole. He starts to run. He just lobs one out there to Dave Meggett, who's wide open. That was all Phil Simms. Not a lot of protection. He had to catch the ball, make a little run, bring the defense up, and then find Meggett and get the ball to him.
Not a lot of people are that aware. Barr's extra point is good, and the Giants lead it 7-0. Watch this throw. 7-0, first quarter. Next Saturday, the Buccaneers from Tampa visit Soldier Field in Chicago to take on the Bears. It begins with the NFL Today on Saturday at noon. Harbaugh, the quarterback, for the Bears as they try to lock up the NFC Central again. A 13-yard return by Harris. Jim McMahon.
I'll tell you, the Giants did exactly what they wanted to do. They stopped them on defense. The Eagles were going to run at Lawrence Taylor last time. They stopped that. They got good field position. They drove the ball down and scored a touchdown, not just a field goal.
James Joseph is tripped up by Everson Wall. Walls is hurt. Taylor strung it out.
You know, the Giants use that cover 2 zone, that 2 deep zone, which means that instead of the safeties being the support men, the corners are the support men. So Taylor's the outside linebacker, and then the guy who comes up to force is is the corner, Everson Walls, and you could see that shot there. Looked like he took it right on his left shoulder. Watch him. See, they get through Taylor right there, and you see that shot right there. Everson Walls comes up, makes a tackle with his left shoulder. I think that's what he hurt.
He also got a little knee in the back. Right now for an NFL update, let's send you back to our New York studios. Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, in Dallas, the Saints need a victory for a playoff berth, but the Cowboys draw first blood. Steve Berline to Darrell Johnston, 1 yard in the touchdown. 7-0 Cowboys. First quarter, Pat.
At Giants Stadium, the Giants leading 7-0. Walls trotting off without too much pain apparent. The Bears got a touchdown from Brad Mustard. They're ahead 7-0.
That brings Perry Williams in now at right corner, a guy who a lot of experience, so they're not going to go to work right on him.
2nd and 10. No flag. Screen pass to Byer. Yes, there is a flag on the other side of the field. Banks took him out of bounds. Screen to Byers, picked up 6 for the Eagles. Against the Giants, they jumped early.
Look at that Jim McMahon. He got pads. He has rib pads on. He's one of the few quarterbacks in the league that plays with gloves. He got stuff on his wrists. He got a pad on his elbow.
Offside, number 76, in the neutral zone, 2nd down.
He had an interesting comment for you before the game. We were down on the field. But you asked him, how does he play with all those injuries? He said, you just have to let your body know who's the boss.
That's all it is. Teach that body who's the boss.
Joseph is the deep back. Gets very little. Lorenzo Freeman, the first to make the hit on James Joseph.
The other thing is I don't think you're going to make a living running on that left side of the Giant defense. You got a nose tackle there. You got Leonard Marshall there. You got Lawrence Taylor there on running downs, and even though Lawrence Taylor's nicked up, maybe he's a little slower, he's still one of the best players in this league.
They go with just 2 down linemen now, Howard and Marshall. Here's McMahon back to throw. To Roy Green. Wily one.
He is, and he can still run. You know, Roy Green, when he came into this league, he was a defensive back. Then they made a wide receiver out of him, and then he was like, 4'3", 40. So when he loses a step, he still has enough speed to play. I think he's been a welcome addition. The Eagles didn't use a 3rd wide receiver on passing downs. They used to keep Jackson and Byers in there. Then they picked up Roy Green, and he's their 3rd down go-to guy now.
And he's also been a great help to the young receivers. First down, Eagles, and McMahon will throw it on first down if he has time. Out to Byer. Taylor hit him just as he let it go. Collins was the defender, only a 3-yard gain.
And you don't know how many of those hits Jim McMahon can take, because, we're not only talking about his elbow here, we're talking about his right ankle and his right knee. Maybe the worst thing of all is the knee, but watch his pressure from his backside. Heller's blocking Taylor, and watch him just as he throws. He gets it from the back and from Fox right up in the front. So that's the old double team, and I think that bothered McMahon's knee on that shot.
2nd and 7. He's a tough guy, but you have to wonder how much he can take. Joseph. Cross midfield, another first down. He got 9. Carl Banks made the stop. Giant Stadium, first quarter, 2:45 left to play. Now the clock running down lower than that. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. The Giants leading 7-0.
Yeah, I was talking to Gary Reasons yesterday, and he said the first time they played the Eagles, James Joseph was a rookie, and they didn't know who he was. And he said this guy comes in there, number 32, and he starts running. He said they missed a lot of tackles on him. He said Reasons said himself included. He said because they never saw him on tape, they didn't know him, but now this time they know him.
He is big and deceptively fast. Here he is again. Joseph across the 45, stopped by Banks again, but he got 4 yards.
Hey, you know, they were going to run to the left, and now they look like they've taken that thing and they're going in the middle. Watch them push in the middle on the nose tackle. They got him going backward. They got Pepper Johnson, a linebacker, going backwards. When you get a nose tackle going backwards, you're always going to gain at least 3 yards.
Joseph 5 carries for 15 yards. 2nd and 6. The Eagles at the Giant 44. McMahon to throw. Outside Byers. Struggles. Was hit by about 6 different Giants before he goes down. You can see that Everson Walls.
And I'll tell you,
it
takes about that many guys to get Byers down. You see the 60 on the back of the Eagles helmets. That's for the Detroit Lion Mike Utley that was paralyzed against the Rams. And it's one of those things in football, you know, you go out and you compete, you play hard, but you don't want to see anyone injured. And when you do, you realize, and all the players realize, that everyone's in it together, and that's what the Eagles are showing here, that, you know, that they are playing for the Eagles, they're playing here against the Giants, but Mike Utley is on their minds also.
That last little surge by Byers got enough for an Eagle first down. Randall Cunningham back with the baseball cap on.
It's interesting, Randall Cunningham is in street clothes on this side, and on the other sideline, Jeff Hostetler is on the Giant sideline.
Williams was the man in motion. McMahon to throw, chased by Marshall, but back to Byers, incomplete, and a flag on the play.
Look how big that Byers is, though. I mean, he is so big and strong. He weighs over 240 pounds. Collins comes up to tackle him, and it's like he ran into a fire hydrant. I mean, he didn't even move him at all. He just knocked the towel out. I mean, Byers, the whole body stays there, and the only thing that flies out is a little towel. That's embarrassing. Here you are, Mark Collins. You come on, boom, you're going to give it your best shot, and all that flies out is a towel.
Holding. Number 73 offense on a takedown. 10 yards. Still first down.
Watch you hit here. Boom. Nothing happens to Byers. The towel flies out, and that's it.
There's Jeff Hostetler. He won't be coming up too close to the sideline where he might get involved in some kind of a collision. I talked to him before the game. He said he was still sore, still uncomfortable, but progressing nicely.
He still looked like he was sore. Just sitting there, he looked sore.
Outside to Green. Roy Green to the Giant 40. Pepper Johnson made the stop. Green got 8 yards.
Now that's the difference. We saw one play where Byers is a power guy. A guy hits him, the only thing that comes out is his flag. And then we see this one, Roy Green. Now he's a speed guy. Now when you get the speed guy going, the first thing that hits him, boom, they're going to go down. Whap! Right there. That's the end of the play. So you got your power and you got your speed.
2nd and 12 coming up. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Giants 7. The Eagles, no score yet. There's Randall Cunningham, who says he's progressing nicely. He came out earlier and threw a little bit.
Yeah, I was surprised that he really wasn't limping at all. I talked to him earlier, and he said he's feeling fine, and I was watching him. He's walking normally and moving around. The players say that he's starting to hang around the locker room, and he's starting to get a little frisky. He's starting to move around there, move his feet a little on the floor.
2nd and 12. Giants showing blitz, and now they back out of it. McMahon incomplete. He's out of bounds. Fred Barnett. He was open.
You know, the same thing happened to him Monday night in the same place. It was down that right end zone. He hit Barnett. Remember, he had one foot in and the other foot didn't stay in. It's the same way. If McMahon and Barnett would just get that one foot straightened out, they'd have some big plays. Either that or move the deal to Canada.
Maybe if McMahon's arm were entirely healthy, he'd get the ball a little quicker there.
Well, or through that shield. I don't know how he sees through that shield. I really don't. I asked him that. He said, well, he said, I've never seen too well all my life anyway. He said, I just see a lot of blurs out there. But how you can see through a dark shield, I have no idea.
Back to throw it is McMahon. He has to come out of the pocket, chased by Taylor, incomplete. He very nearly, or appeared to come up lame after he let the ball go.
I know. Well, he really had to. He really had to let it go. I think he hurt himself again there too, and it was trying to get away from Taylor. You talk about two competitors. Watch number 56. That's Lawrence Taylor coming on that backside, bad knee and all. McMahon is running to get away, bad knee and all, and I think right there he hurt or pulled something. You see the right knee? It's the right knee that he had operated on 2 months ago.
He goes back to punt. Megan will let it sit. That's going to be close to going out of bounds inside the 5 and does. 37-yard punt, but very effective.
This playoff summary is sponsored by Bud Dry.
The Redskins and Buffalo have clinched division titles. Denver, Houston, the Saints, and the Raiders can clinch playoff berths with wins today. 20 teams are still alive for a spot in the playoffs, and this is week 14.
Yeah, we saw Jim McMahon over there talking to the medical staff, and I think he passed that test because he's back up there talking to the head coach. I've always found that means they're going to play. That and the fact that they keep their helmet on.
First and 10 Giants. That's Meggett in motion. They're at their own 3-yard line. Sims will throw it out of the end zone. He just got out of the end zone. Very nearly a safety.
That's always the dangerous part about throwing out of that end zone. Of course, if you take a sack, it can be a safety. The other thing is if there's a penalty in the end zone. In other words, say that one of those linemen hold back in the end zone, then that also is a safety. So there's a couple of bad things that can happen when you pass it out of your own end zone. Of course, a good thing that can happen is, boom, you can strike quickly.
The word on McMahon is that he has a jammed right knee and probably will be able to return. Second and 12, back at about the 1-foot line. Maurice Carthon flips outside the 5. Andre Waters hit him after a gain of 6.
You know, when you're down on the goal line, either going in or coming out, it's the same type of football. You know, you have to dive and go over piles and pick up anything you can, because your first goal when you're on the goal line is to get the ball out past the 5-yard line. Now, that gives your punter the full 15 yards. Then your second goal is to get a first down, and then you go from there.
They need 6 for a first. Hampton, the lone setback. Flag on the play as Sims fires, fairly nearly picked off by Seth Joyner. What a game he had Monday night.
So Maurice Carthon picked up that 5 yards, and it's going to go back against them. The Eagles don't have a choice here. The whistle blew. They're just going to march off the 5.
Number 61, moving prior to the snap. Half the distance to the goal. Still third down.
Bob Cratch.
Well, Bob Cratch comes in at guard when in the goal line defense, and they move Roberts usually out to tight end when they do that.
Just wondered if something might be wrong with Eric Moore.
In fact, I think Cratch right now is in there for Eric Moore. Yeah. You're right.
Third down and 10. Stockton now wants a timeout. So does Sims. He hits for the sideline. The Giants leading 7-0. 12:58 left to play in the first half. 12:58 left to play in the first half. The Giants down to one timeout. The Eagles have all three of theirs. Lawrence Taylor, who didn't play against the Bengals last week and didn't like that one bit.
Now, the other thing he didn't like, remember the last time they played against the Eagles and they were embarrassed, and that was after the game when Lawrence Taylor said that all 47 players and coaches quit.
Back in the end zone, incomplete. No place to go with it. Odessa Turner was the intended receiver.
I don't know, either Sims threw that away or it was a misread. Odessa Turner's running back towards Sims, but Odessa Turner ran and up, and Sims threw an out.
Chances of completing that one are very slim.
You will never complete that one unless it's to someone standing on the other team's sideline.
Landetta back in the end zone. Good kick. A dandy. All the way back to the 35 is Harris. And back to about the 48. The Eagles will take over their flag on the play. 62-yard punt by Landetta.
And I think that penalty is probably going to be against the Eagles. Looked like there was a couple of blocks in the back. You know, that one that they always get. Boy, it's tough. It's tough not to do that. Sometimes you just fall into it.
Illegal block, number 54 in the back. During the return, 10 yards. It'll be first down for Philadelphia. Timeout.
It was Brene Thompson, as you might expect, who was blocked in the back. 7-0. The Giants lead it. Back at Giants Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 7-0. Giants lead the Eagles second quarter. 12:42 left to play in the first half. He fires as the lone setback now. Here's McMahon. Incomplete, intended for Fred Barnett. Walls the defender.
You know, we're talking about that mask, Pat, and that's what it looks like from the outside. One thing about it is Jim McMahon says you can't read his eyes. Now, here's what it looks like from the inside. We put it on our camera in the end zone. So, to me, this looks awfully dark because I don't wear sunglasses. But if you were McMahon and you were wearing that, you see that's what it looks like from that camera. We just put the face mask over the camera and the lens, and that's what it looked like. And this is what it looks like without it. So I think it's a lot darker, but as McMahon says, he's never seen normally all his life anyway.
Williams in man in motion, and McMahon back to throw it. Outside, and that's Byers. Byers still on his feet, and Byers hammers into Giant territory. Stopped by Greg Jackson, but a 14-yard gain.
And it was about a 5-yard pass, and the rest of it was just Byers. And again, you have to tackle Byers, and the only way you're going to tackle him is you better bring a whole bunch of guys, because he's so big and so strong, you can't arm tackle him. You can't tackle him with one. See, there goes one. See, the arm tackle doesn't work. You can't grab him like Pepper Johnson did. You can't do it like that. You got to get a shoulder into him like Collins, and then 3 other guys to jump on him. But you can't be reaching and grabbing for this guy.
And you better have a reverse gear ready, too, because he's going to knock you backwards like he did Collins.
He got his nickname Tank.
That's Byers again. Byers to about the 41. Greg Jackson made the stop. 12 yards for Byers.
These are the kind of guys you like to have in your team. A guy like Byers. I mean, he can run with the ball. He can block. He can catch it. We saw him catch it and run. Then we see him. He starts to the left. He cuts back, and after a while, there's not a whole lot of guys that are real anxious to tackle this guy. He's getting tired just running.
You tackle him too many times, you'll be in the cart headed for the locker room.
Yeah, remember when they drafted him out of Ohio State? He had a bad foot. And they didn't even know if he could play. And He's sure become a good all-around player.
He gets a rest now. Joseph replaces him. That's Joseph. Hit by Leonard Marshall right at the line of scrimmage. Again, for an NFL update, let's send you back to New York. Greg Gumbel.
All right, Pat, Soldier Field in Chicago. Ex-Bear Mike Tomczak comes back to bite his old team. The 1-yard touchdown pass to Jackie Harris. The Packers lead the Bears 10-7. Second quarter, Pat.
Here at Giants Stadium, 7-0 Giants, 2nd and 9. The Eagles at the Giant 35.
We got old Bear quarterbacks playing all over, don't we? They just showed one there at Green Bay. We got one here just breaking the huddle, and they got one playing for the Bears. Old Ditka has them spread out all over this league.
Here's one of them back to throw it. High over the head. Calvin Williams and a flag on the play.
Oh, Everson Walls is thinking, what in the heck is this league trying to do to me? Remember last week against Cincinnati, he had 3 of them.
In
3
one
pass
drive.
interference penalties.
In one drive.
He gets his left hand up there, and then he does push. He got the left hand up there after 5 yards.
Flag. The ball was not catchable. Third down.
So there is no penalty. Not catchable.
Yeah, but I don't believe that. That's a bunch of baloney, because they have a rule that after 5 yards, the defensive back cannot touch the guy. So when you hit him after 5 yards, then maybe you knock him off where he can't get that far to get, the ball.
Like rebounding.
So that rule never made any sense to me.
Third down. Safety blitz. Flag on the play. Pass is complete from McMahon to Barnett, but a penalty marker down, and so is McMahon.
Tell you, McMahon not only got knocked down, he got spun around where he goes the other way. Watch your rest. Marshall is coming from this side. They're putting him on Antone Davis, and he gets it from the defensive back, Brown, coming from the back side. As I said, he not only got knocked down, but he got spun around. He ended up going backwards. I'll tell you one thing about McMahon, you can never question his competitiveness or his toughness. And the thing that surprises a lot of people, and I'm not sure why, but how bright he is. This is a very bright man.
Almost to a man, the Eagles were saying, well, from what we had heard about him, we didn't care for him. But now that they all know him, they all say, we really like the guy, we respect the guy.
Reggie White, in fact, apologized for not liking him before he knew him. He apologized to him.
Roy Green was the man in motion. Here comes a cornerback blitz again. Pass is caught by Jackson. Not enough for the first down inside the 30. That'll put him into field goal range, however.
And I think the other thing they did is after McMahon got knocked down, they came right back with a pass to show that they lost their pass protection, but they reestablished that they could pass protect for him.
They had that cornerback or safety blitz or whatever it is picked up that time. 46 yards away for Ruzek with Beagles holding. It's going to get there, and it's good. And the Eagles get on the board. 46 yards away by Roger Ruzek. 9:49 left to play first half, 7-3. 7-3, the Giants lead. 9:49 left to play in the first half. Both teams needing victory.
Yeah, you can't beat this, though, Pat. December day, it's a little warmer than normal, but the Eagles and the Giants, and the fight and the type of battles, this kind of represents what football is all about. 3 more games left to go, playoff implications, do or die, all those types of things. And to me, this is what it's all about. This is the most fun time of the football regular season.
Meggett goes at the 3. Comes out of there with it. 46 finally by Robert Drummond.
Hey, he makes a great move here at the end. Of course, it's on the kicker, number 7, Roger Rusek. But watch him. He just puts Rusek down. Watch 7 come in there. He made a move on him. The Rusek just fell on his back. And he made about 10 more yards. Dave Meggett is one of the guys who can break any play in any game. That's why you like to have him in the game as much as you can, because he can just drop kickers to their backs.
And other people too.
The kicker's going to have a hard time explaining that one.
What is it, I'm not sure, that Rusek has in mind?
Well, you were an old kicker, Pat. I mean, here's the thing. Let's just look at it as a clicker. Now, this isn't a linebacker. Remember that. You see, so if you run by something, just stick out a leg. You may miss the whole thing. See, I mean, he doesn't even come close enough to get a hand or an arm or a shoulder, so he's just going to kick a leg up. The question is, did he want to come close enough?
And you must make sure, if you do that, it's not your kicking leg.
It was his other leg.
Yeah.
You're off. What do you have, a kicking leg and an off leg?
Right. That's been hit right at the line of scrimmage by Evans. Very popular play selection.
Well, I think what the fans are thinking here is when the Giants get something going, they can't keep it going. You know, they got that 7, and that's not enough. You can't sit on a 7-0 lead. I think they did that a week ago against Cincinnati. They didn't pull the hammer out and put them away. I think that somewhere they have to open it up, take a shot against this defense.
Third and 7.
Second down are better than 3rd and long.
Excuse me. You know what you're going to face for the most part anyway. Hitting it alongside Sims. Picked off. He was hit just as he let it go. Eric Allen made the interception. Reggie White and Clyde Simmons put the heat on Sims. That's the first turnover.
And I think if there's one place I don't want to throw against their nickel, it's out here. I don't want to throw it out here to Odessa Turner. I don't want to throw it on Eric Allen. Odessa Turner kind of slipped, made a bad pattern. He should have fought for that ball. Once he slipped and come out, if Sims is going to throw it, boom, then you have to go out and become the defender too. Heck of a play by Eric Allen. Good pass rush. Not very good by Sims or Odessa Turner.
So the Eagles will take over 1st and 10 at their own 38. A handoff is to Joseph. Hit behind the line by Marshall. And finally settled down by Pepper Johnson. We're at Giant Stadium. Second quarter score, 7-3 Giants. Pat Summerall with John Madden. It'll bring up a 2nd and 12 for the Eagles.
And the Eagle game plan when they run is to run right at Lawrence Taylor. That also means for the most part you're running right at Leonard Marshall, which to me is still the strength of this Giant defense.
No question about that. Here's McMahon limping back into pass protection. And throws it out of bounds. Barnett, the intended receiver. McMahon is still down. He was hit by Lorenzo Freeman.
Well, Lorenzo Freeman really unloaded on him. McMahon stood in there. He was waving his receiver down, waving him down. You see him there? Then he had to hang in there and watch Lorenzo Freeman. You know, it's not only the hit when Freeman hits him, but then the thing that really gets him on artificial turf is when they hit the ground. That's
and when he hits on top of him, 320 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, that's bringing a load, and you get that initial contact, that jolts you, and then the next contact, when you hit the ground, is really the damaging one. And I think that's going to bring Jeff Kemp in this game.
Jeff Kemp, number 16. McMahon still down on his knees. That's McMahon still down on one knee. Randall Cunningham warming up the new quarterback, Jeff Kemp.
Well, you know, Jeff Kemp came in last Monday night, threw a big touchdown pass to Keith Jackson in their win against the Oilers, and Jeff Kemp has a lot of confidence. He's also a bright guy. He's been around a long time. He has 11 years in the league, knows football, and the players also have confidence in him. I tell you, Jim McMahon really hung in there on that pass, and he didn't have to. You know, I mean, he could have, if he had the type of mind that wanted to protect himself, he could have stepped out of bounds and not gotten hit. But he stayed just inside and hung in there. Watch him here. He could have just stepped out of bounds. But he hangs in there and hangs in there and knows that he's going to get that hit to throw that ball.
And that's a big load on top of him. 7-3. Jeff Kemp is the quarterback, replacing Jim McMahon, 3rd and 12. Here comes the heat. Kemp going deep. The pass is going to be picked off by Collins, and is. Collins back to midfield. Still on his feet, and it's still on his feet. And finally down at the Eagles' 34-yard line. Roy Green finally got him down. A 39-yard, great effort, pass interception return by Collins.
Hey, Rich Kotite wanted to take a shot. He called the play, told Jeff Kemp, let's try and get one, come off the bench and get one. Mark Collins makes a good interception and then an exceptional effort. He gets some good blocks, but watch him here. He runs through a tackle by Byers. The big tackle there, they thought they got him. No one has him. He just kept those feet going, trying to pick up yards. And remember last week, he couldn't play because he had bad ribs.
This is Ron Heller, who's now down and injured. He hurt his ankle last week, or last Monday night against Houston. That's Jim McMahon's roommate. That's going to be an infirmary tonight.
Well, McMahon said that he was trying to teach Heller to teach the body who's boss, and they could both talk about that right now.
Heller said, I haven't learned it yet.
Oh, and I would think, just looking at McMahon, and we haven't heard exactly what the thing is, but I would think he's going to be back in this game.
It looks like it. Bill Sims has the pass deflected, but caught by Howard Cross anyway. Eric Allen stopped Cross. A 26-yard pickup.
It was a deflection, but this is where Phil Sims throws the ball better than anyone. He comes back out, he's looking to his left, sees Cross down the middle. Byron Evans deflects the ball right into Cross's hand. But I think that's the thing that Sims does best, is throw to his tight end down the middle. You remember over the years, Mark Bavaro making so many big plays in that area of the field.
1st and goal from the 9. Hampton behind Sims. Riesenberg jump. Boy, those are the kind of things you just can't afford.
And a lot of that will happen when you're blocking Reggie White. I think Riesenberg was trying to get himself in position.
Prior to the snaps.
Yeah, the word on
Still first downs.
The word on Jim McMahon now is that he just had the wind knocked out of him on that play, and like I said, he just looks like he's going to be back in there. Although Jeff Kemp is still warming up here on the sideline, and McMahon is not taking any throws.
1st and goal now from the 14. There's Jeff Kemp. Carthon the long setback, and Sims backpedal. Incomplete, intended for Hampton. Again, Sims under pressure, and he's slow getting up.
Well, and the pressure came from Reggie White. That's what Reggie White does in a game. The play before, Doug Riesenberg jumps off sides. This time, you see him out there, Reggie White, he's up on the top, 92. He works against Riesenberg. Boom, he comes to the inside on him right there, and then he hits Sims just as he throws the ball.
They'll make it 2nd and goal from the 14.
You know, he's such a pillar out there that everyone around him gets strength, I think, off of Reggie White.
Sims hit. That's a fumble. No, now they say no. The ball came loose as he was attempting to throw.
If that's
Joyner hit him.
That'd be a league record. That ball went back 20 yards after Joyner hit him. Watch this. Here's 59 Joyner, who's having a heck of a season. Was the arm going forward? I don't know. There looks like a lot of stuff in this play. But watch 59. I don't know. The arm is going forward. The ball hits one of his own guys. I think you have a lot of things there. You have a face mask. Yep. I think there was a face mask. I think the ball was going forward. I think it hit an ineligible receiver. The ball can't hit your own guy.
They're going to have a look.
On the field, it's an incomplete forward pass. The play is being reviewed.
Yeah, it's an incomplete forward pass, but if that hit either Oates or Riesenberg there, then that's an illegal forward pass. If it hits an eagle, it's okay. I think it hit Riesenberg. It looked like everything came bouncing back. See, that's like throwing it to a lineman. I think it did bounce off of number 72, Doug Riesenberg.
But I think maybe behind the line, it's okay.
Maybe it is. No, yep. It's off the Eagle face mask.
Right.
So it's off Reggie White's face mask. So that'll be an incomplete pass. That's all it is, because with the replay, they cannot do anything about the face mask. So all you had was I'll tell you, that was a lot of quickness and a lot of hard hitting, where Joyner hit Sims hard. Sims hit Reggie White hard in the face, and the ball bounced. I swear, Pat, the ball bounced 25 yards back.
At least. There's Bud Carson, who runs the Eagle defense. The word on Ron Heller, by the way, is he just had the wind knocked out of him, and he will be back.
You know, again, the only thing they could be reviewing was the arm going forward, and did the ball hit a giant? I think the arm is going forward.
Further review. The play has been confirmed. Incomplete forward pass. 3rd down.
We were talking about that play, Pat, after it did hit Reggie White in the face. Then Mike Pitts, the other defensive tackle, went back 25 yards. He picked it up, and he ran it 50 more yards into the end zone. But none of it counts.
Anyway, they have reviewed. They have said the play stands as is. There's Mike Pitts.
And he's still breathing heavily. He just ran that thing. Well, he ran from the 20 all the way to the end zone. He just ran 70 yards, down 70 yards back.
3rd and 14 on the 14. Second of the day.
Sims says he tries not to get excited anymore, but he can't hold it back. That was a running screen, and he had a good block downfield by his guard, Bob Kratz. Kratz pulled out in front of him. There was a running screen. Boom, he hit Vega. Kratz led him down that sideline and into the end zone.
McMahon headed for the locker room. Barr's extra point is good. After the interception by Collins set it up, the Giants took 4 plays to go 35 yards. Sims to make it from 14 yards out.
Watch the play here, and we'll see the right guard is going to pull. He pulls out and leads. Meggett comes across here, so Sims just hits him here, boom, and he got the screen pass, the one-man screen going down the sideline. You see Meggett's on the left side of Sims. See him cross over? Now see the guard out in front. We can stop it right now. This is the perfect play. Here is Meggett. Here is Cratch. Here is the goal line. That is perfect. That's the way you draw up the play. All Megan has to do is follow Cratch.
Watch Riesenberg cut down Reggie White.
He has to cut him down so that they can throw the screen over him. Now watch Cratch out there leading him. Boom, he gets a block right there, and Meggett goes sideways into the end zone.
Sims' second touchdown pass today. He had 3 last week.
But as you said, Pat, it was all set up by Mark Collins' interception. And not only his interception, but his return.
Barr's kickoff handled by Harris at the 1. He is hammered by Bobby Abrams. Harris was slow getting up. And Abrams is slow getting up.
You know, this is exactly what the Giants had to do, though. They had to get plays on special teams like they're getting today. They had to get plays from their defense, and they're doing it. Their defense is playing up to a level of Giant defense, you know, where they're making things happen. They're getting turnovers. They're not just sitting back on their heels and waiting for something to happen.
The reason McMahon went to the locker room early, we were told, is because he was having trouble breathing, and they want to look at his chest. Jeff Kemp, meantime, is the quarterback. To Byers. Byers outside the 25 to about the 28, stopped by Taylor and Walls.
There's Cratch here. Eric Moore, again, who's the regular right guard, is number 60. Cratch has taken his place. I'm sure he's explaining that play. I don't think the Giants have used that play, that quick running screen from the shotgun where the guard pulls out there and lead. That's the first time I've seen him do it.
Second down and 4 at the 29. Giants leading 14-3. Johnson was the man in motion. Was hit by Marshall just as he let it go. Marshall is live and well.
I'll tell you, he looks like he's shot out of a cannon. He goes right over the left guard, John Hudson, number 76, and darn near puts Jeff Kemp right through the carpet. Big Leonard likes to move around. He's been on the tackles. He's been on both ends. That time he worked on the young guard, John Hudson.
Third and 4.
The Eagles rotate those guards, and the Giants are moving their defense around to take advantage. Again, Marshall is lining up over the left guard, John Hudson.
Handoff is to Byers, and there's nothing for him to do. Short of the first down by a yard, stopped by Mike Fox. And Canavis McGee.
I'll tell you one thing, the Giants are going after these Eagle quarterbacks. You see, they haven't really been sacked yet, but they've been hurried 8 times, knocked down 5 times, and intercepted once. That's what they wanted to do. Their game plan was stop the run and then go after the quarterbacks.
Meggett deep for the Giants. Fiegels will punt. They're going to measure for a first down. Look short.
You never know from week to week in this league, do you? The Giants don't look like the same team that played Cincinnati last week. And I'll tell you, the Eagles don't look like the same team that played Houston on Monday night.
Since it was a short week for the Eagles, they didn't get back till early Tuesday morning, so they had no practice Tuesday.
In fact, all week they didn't wear pads. Rich Kotite said that it was a very physical, aggressive game last week, Monday night. They knew they were going to have another win this week, so the Eagles didn't wear pads from last Monday night until they put them on for today's game.
Fiegels gets off a Nuttler. Meggett signals for a catch and makes it. So the Giants will take over. Saturday's lineup starts at noon Eastern with the NFL Today. The last word before kickoff. Then at 12:30 Eastern, the NFL on CBS continues when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Chicago Bears. And at 3:45 Eastern Time, it's college basketball. Number 1 ranked Duke travels to Ann Arbor, Michigan to play the Wolverines. That's Saturday on CBS. Sims with time. Down by Reggie White. A loss of 4. That'll make it 2nd and 14 back at the 31. Reggie White got the Sims. Ray Hanley. Otis Anderson in the backfield behind Sims now. He is their best pass blocker. 2nd and 14. Howard Cross. Cross fumble. The scramble.
Mike Pitts ends up with it. It's the Eagles' ball. As you said, they put O.J. Anderson in there to pick up the blitz. He picks up the blitz. Sims completes the pass to Cross. Watch here, the ball is just stripped just as he's turning. Mike Pitts, who was rushing the passer, turns around and through hustling gets back downfield and recovers the fumble.
Wes Hopkins tried to pick it up and couldn't find the handle. The Eagles have recovered the most fumbles in the NFL. They have it 1st and 10 at the Giant 42. 3:13 left to play in the first half, and the Giants leading 14-3. Here's Kemp for the bundle. Incomplete. Intended for Barnett.
And Barnett is saying that Everson Walls grabbed him there about the 10-yard line. Now watch 28, that's Everson Walls. Barnett does have speed, one of the fastest guys in the league. He can run by Walls. Barnett put his hand on Walls, though. It was Barnett that pushed off. Barnett's only in his 2nd year. That's a real veteran move. But Walls has the experience. Barnett has the speed. That time he pushed off.
2nd and 10. Barnett comes the other way this time. Calvin Williams, the motion man, and fake. There's the Byers. They get the ball outside to Williams. Williams out of bounds at about the 36. Pepper Johnson knocked him out after he gained 5 yards.
Boy, did they fool Lawrence Taylor. Watch this, Pat. Here's Taylor. Now what they're going to do is fake the run that way, and the quarterback is going to come back this way. But watch Taylor sell out on that run. He reads run all the way. He's going, and that is what makes a bootleg go. He didn't even see Jeff Kemp with the ball.
3rd and 5.
See, Taylor's shaking his head. Okay, you got me that time. Okay. But I'll get the next bootleg or the next run.
Here comes Banks on a blitz, and there goes Kemp with some running room away from Walls. Finally hit down inside the Giant 20. Greg Jackson finally made the stop, but Kemp ran for 18 and calls a timeout.
Now watch what happens here, Pat. When you get Taylor, he's the outside rusher. When he goes up, and he goes up the field like this, you get a natural hole. Let's just watch how the natural hole develops. Now, if we can stop it right now, we see that we got him out here, and they're going to come and double him. Your next pass rusher is in here. So you got this hole for the quarterback to run there. And if there's any hole that has been run in more against the Giants this year, it's that hole right there.
It goes back to the first game they lost here against the Rams.
That's right. Taylor outside, wide, and getting penetration. The next guy inside and not getting penetration.
2 minutes, 12 seconds left to play in the first half. This is an Eagle timeout. The Giants lead it 14-3.
That was Pepper Johnson, the inside rusher that time. They got Lawrence Taylor on a couple plays in a row there. They got him on that one, the quarterback running. On the play before that, they faked the run and got him on the bootleg. So Lawrence Taylor is a very emotional guy, and I think his emotion level is going to raise here.
James Joseph is the ball carrier. Bounces off one tackler, gets down to about the 17, got a yard. Mark Collins and Carl Banks wrapped him up.
Mark Collins didn't put on weight, Pat. Those just ribs pads he's wearing there. He has bad ribs.
14-3. Saturday, the playoff-bound Chicago Bears host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting at noon Eastern with the NFL Today. Jim Harbaugh has emerged as Chicago's leader at quarterback, while running back Neil Anderson is expected back to power the ground game. That's the Bears and the Bucs next Saturday here on CBS. Second down, Eagles. 2nd and 9 at the Giant 18. 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Williams, the man in motion. Kemp to throw it. Under pressure again, but the pass is caught by Byers over the middle. He just barely got rid of it as Reasons was right in his face with Pepper Johnson.
Yeah, there are times when the backside of the quarterback isn't protected when he's throwing to his right. That time, as you say, Reasons came free. It was from his backside, but with Kemp throwing to his left, then it really wasn't his backside. So he saw Reasons coming free, and he was able to get rid of the ball before Reasons got there.
Got it out to Byers.
The tough one is when it comes from that backside and you're throwing right.
Marshall got loose again momentarily. Here's Kemp, chased by Pepper Johnson and out of bounds, and a flag on the play.
You can hear Leonard Marshall saying, "No, he wasn't, ref." And he hit him out of bounds. That was awfully close. But it's hard when you're going like this to stop right up against the sideline.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds in the white area, number 70. 1st and goal.
You know, by the rule, they're right. He is out of bounds, and he is hit there, but I think that's a bad call. I mean, that's not football. I mean, this isn't illegal or no one is made it. They're just chasing him. The sideline comes up, and, you know, by the rule and the definition of the rule, they're right. By the spirit of play in the game, they're wrong.
It brings up 1st and goal from the 9. Byers, the ball carrier, hit by Marshall. Right at the line of scrimmage, he might have gotten a yard.
It was interesting last night, Pat, when we were talking to Rich Kotite. He says that usually when we get down in here in the goal line area, they aren't really down to the goal line area yet. He said, but we usually run the ball in or try and run it. He said today against the Giants, because they're so tough here. The Giants over the years have had the best defense down in this area, in this red zone and goal line area that there is. But Richie Kotite said they're going to pass today when they get down there.
They're going to talk it over. This is an Eagle timeout. They have 1 left. Don't forget, coming up at the half, Greg and Terry with all the scores and highlights on the NFL today, around the league today. A lot of people can clinch. A lot of people can be eliminated. But when the day began, there were 20 teams still with playoff hopes. Some of those will disappear today. Lawrence Taylor with that knee brace on his left leg.
Hey, you can see that brace. It goes all the way down almost to the top of his ankle. Ray Hanley said that he did tape jobs, experimented with tape jobs, different braces, 2 braces, 3 braces, and I guess this one he's wearing today is the one that feels the best on him.
2nd and goal from the 8. Jeff Kemp has Joseph and Byers behind him. Here comes the blitz again. Kemp again is flushed out of the pocket. Touchdown, Eagles. Calvin Williams, a throw by Kemp.
That was all Jeff Kemp, because you always say, don't throw it in the middle, down there. Just don't throw it up for grabs. Don't throw across your body. Jeff Kemp did all those things. Watch him. He's going to get flushed out. It wasn't a rollout. Now he's going to get flushed out, throw across his body, back into the middle. Those are all things from quarterback 1A you say don't do. He did them all and got a touchdown.
Extra point is good. Makes it 14-10. That's worth another look, that throw.
This is tough. This is a tough throw. He had to learn that one at Dartmouth. That's something that comes out of the Ivy League. You don't get that one in the NFL.
Maybe he learned it from his father.
Yeah, that's right. Jack Kemp, of course, was the quarterback for the San Diego Chargers, the Buffalo Bills, and one of the real good quarterbacks that played in this game.
He was also a quarterback here with the Giants.
Yeah, and then Jeff Kemp, you know, you keep thinking he's a young guy, and you remember when he was a rookie, and you look down, and it's his 11th year already. He was really upset when he was cut. He started for the Seattle Seahawks this year and had a bad game, and they cut him the next day, and I think it upset him and embarrassed him, and he said one of his happiest days was when he got picked up by the Philadelphia Eagles. That will really demoralize the defense.
So will that.
That's Al Groh, the defensive coordinator. No one says they don't have any emotion. He's trying to put some emotion in them. He probably thought that they shouldn't have been flushed out, that they should have had him on the sack and not let him run to make that throw.
He pulled his own chain. He was so mad. He didn't need any help. This is going to be Hampton right at the goal line. Getting ready for the halftime feast out in the parking lot. That looks like how much time we have.
Well, this is good. Look at this. They got the kielbasa in there, kielbasa and sauerkraut, deer meat. They got this here bubbling. That's sweet potatoes. You always have to have them on the side there.
Yams.
And you can't beat this. Some bagels and some different spreads there. I think I know that one wasn't out in the parking lot. That one was on the bus. That's breakfast on the bus before the game. You kidding me? Where'd that come from?
Here's a handoff to Meggett. Clock continues to run. 3 yards for Meggett. Jerome Brown made the stop. 25 seconds left to play in the first half. The clock's still running. Sims is going to try to get another one on. Flag on the play, pass complete to Baker. Flags before it started.
I don't think I've ever seen Al Groh as upset as he was on that play.
Moving prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Because they really had everything going. They had the 14-3 lead. They had knocked the starting quarterback out of the game. Everything looked like it was going their way, and Jeff Kemp comes up with a big play.
Speaking of Jeffs, Jeff Hostetler headed for the locker room. Be very careful not to get banged around or run into by anyone. 2nd and 12. That should do it for the first half. That is the end of the first half with the score: the Giants 14, the Eagles 10.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Mitsubishi. The word is getting around. Sony, where imagination and innovation create the ultimate in sight and sound. Energizer brand batteries, they keep going and going. And by Bud Dry brewed so it drinks light yet satisfies completely. CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America, the cars more people depend on. Panasonic, helping to train America's Olympic athletes. And by Little Caesars Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for 1 low price.
Set to get the second half underway. At Barr to kick it off. Giants leading the Eagles 14-10. The Eagles had won 6 out of the last 7 meetings between these two. Jim McMahon, as John Madden said a moment ago, has returned to the sideline. But whether he'll be able to continue or not, I don't know. Rod Harris and Pete Sherman back deep. The Barr's kick going to be Harris at the 5. To about the 27. 22-yard return. The halftime statistics pretty even.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is, that drive that the Eagles got just before half. Remember, there was a big run by Jeff Kemp. There was a 15-yard penalty against the Giants that I still do not understand how a guy is supposed to stop when he's in that position. Then there was a great throw by Jeff Kemp, or the score would have been 14-3.
Jeff Kemp is the quarterback. He fires the lone running back behind him. Fires cuts upfield for nothing. Eric Dorsey out to toss him backwards.
Yeah, if you look at the Giants, Pat, here's what we're talking about. Is everything in these first 3 quarters are pretty well. It's kind of like the old Giants, but this is where they've had trouble in that 4th quarter, where their opponents have outscored them almost 2-1.
2nd and 9, and now as I look at the Eagle bench, I can't find Jim McMahon. I don't believe he is back. Jeff Kemp's the quarterback. Back to throw. Protection is better, and Kemp's going to take off. He slides short of a first down.
Jeff Kemp's out there playing like this guy. He's playing like Randall Cunningham. It's funny, a defense gets ready for McMahon, and McMahon is not a runner. Then Jeff Kemp comes in, and he is a runner. And if you give him a lane, he's going to run on it. Watch here. He'll run right past Lawrence Taylor. Taylor was coming in to get in position for a sack. Kemp found a lane. You give Jeff Kemp a lane, he is going to take it.
3rd and 2. Back to throw it. Here, Leonard Marshall after him. Pass is caught by Fred Barnett. Roger Brown, the defender.
Fred Barnett's in his 2nd year, and he was saying his 1st year it was tough. He felt nervous all the time. His 2nd year, he feels confident. You can see that maybe that left knee is starting to bother Lawrence Taylor.
Looks like it.
Sometimes you can play the first half, and then you go in at halftime, and it stiffens up on you. To watch Barnett not only get open just by about a half a step, but get up and catch that ball.
Canavis McGee has taken Taylor's place, and again, Kemp has to come out of there. Goes deep. Incomplete and no flags. Now we have more definitive word on the condition of Jim McMahon. It is not his chest. It is his ribs, and that's the reason, obviously, he was having so much trouble breathing, and he will not be back. So it's on the shoulders of Jeff Kemp.
Yeah, and, again, it was the thing. He was hit by Lorenzo Freeman, and it wasn't the initial hit, but it was the hit when Freeman drove him into the carpet. A legal hit and everything, but it was the contact on the carpet that got Jim McMahon.
Bobby Abrams leaving for the locker room. Taylor's back. Reasons on the blitz. Incomplete. Intended for Byers as Kemp again under heavy pressure. Pepper Johnson and Reasons applied the pressure.
You know, Taylor went out for a play, and then he came back in. You'll see him on this last play. You see him here. He's rushing. Lawrence is dropping back here. We saw Leonard Marshall rushing, and maybe because of the knee, they're not going to bring him every play. Maybe they're going to drop him sometimes and play him in coverage. But if he's going to be a force, he has to rush, and he's going to rush here.
3rd and 10. Takes the inside move, passes over the middle to Keith Jackson, and it bounced away from him. Bobby Abrams has muscle spasms in his back, and that's why he went to the locker room. The Eagles will have to punt.
I'll tell you one thing Jeff Kemp did is he did change the pace of this game, and I think the Giant defense has yet to adjust to it.
Beagles back to punt, and Dave Megan. Ball bounces back to Beagles, and it's blocked. Blocked by Bunch. Hit the official in the head and went out of bounds. Jared Bunch, number 33. Number 1 draft choice, and he is a punt.
And that's what we were talking about before the game, that they have to do. They have to have plays on special teams, plays on defense. Watch Bunch. He just gets penetration there, gets that left hand up. Of course, that's going to be the Giants' ball, whether it went out of bounds or not. Bunch just gets right in front, comes from that outside. You block a punt at a point 7 yards in front of the punter, not at the point of 15 where he is deep.
Hampton is the lone setback. Ingram is the man in motion, and it's going to be a reverse to Ingram. He's going to throw it. Baker was open in the end zone. The ball was late and batted away just at the last second by Wes Hopkins. Isaiah Jenkins back. He's number 46.
I tell you, the Giants, the fans love that play. Look at them, they're saying, we've been too conventional. We have to open up. We can't be conservative. They said, okay, you don't want to be conservative? I'll show you not conservative. How's this, a reverse? No, no. It's a reverse, and then off the reverse, Ingram's going to pass it. Heck of a play by Wes Hopkins, though.
And Jenkins back there also. 2nd and 10. Hampton almost broke it out of the pack. Stopped by Jerome Brown. 3-yard gain.
And then the Giants went right back to old Giant football, just run the ball off tackle. You know, if you're going to run, it's tough to run on Jerome Brown. You're not going to make a living running in there. I think there's some guys, Jerry Ball for Detroit, William Refrigerator Perry at Chicago, and Jerome Brown with the Eagles, that you're never going to run right at or cut back into.
Michael Carter would fit into that same category.
When he's healthy.
Here's Sims. Incomplete, intended for Meggett. And the field goal unit will have to come on. Rich Biano was the man who was up there facing Meggett. Barr will try field goal. Kavanaugh will hold. It'll be from 44 yards out.
He makes it now to give him a new face mask.
He pulled it. Barr is wide left, and the Eagle defense does its job. 11:34 left in the 3rd quarter. 14-10. Saturday, the NFL Today looks toward tomorrow's NFL stars like Tampa Bay's Broderick Thomas.
Just ask you to look out for me, okay? I'll do it.
A special edition of the NFL Today at noon, followed by Tampa Bay at Chicago. At Giant Stadium, the Eagles ball 1st and 10 at their own 26. The Giants lead by 4. Kemp gets it out to Byers. couple of limp legs. Lost the ball. The Eagles are scrambling for it. So are the Giants. Fred Barnett, I believe, came up with it. It might have been Keith Jackson.
You know, I think that Lawrence Taylor's bad knee is going to be exposed more in the open field than it is rushing. You see him, he's going to try and drop back. He dropped back on that play, and he couldn't even get in to make a play on Byers. That was Carl Banks that hit Byers, that knocked the ball out. But Taylor dropped back in that zone, and the pass was thrown in that zone, and he was just unable to move. There was nothing he could do about making the play on that.
With time is going to take off with it. But he almost changed his mind. He got a block, a devastating block from Calvin Williams to keep him from getting hit himself.
Well, Pat, in Dallas, Steve Walsh to Gil Fenerty for 4 yards. Gets the Cowboys down 1. The Saints are up as they look for a playoff berth. We'll have all the highlights on the postgame show. It's 14-13 New Orleans in the third.
Giant Stadium, 14-10. What's that block by Williams?
That's what you call a decleater. When you hit the guy and boom, the cleats pop right out of the air.
2nd and 5. Off Joseph, not much doing. A yard gain stopped by Lorenzo Freeman and Mike Fox for the Giants.
Yeah, we're talking about Jeff Kemp coming into this game and changing the pace. He's the Eagles' leading rusher. That's the way it used to be when Randall Cunningham was quarterback in the Eagles. Kemp has run for 30 yards 3 times. And, of course, one of his biggest times was when he ran, and they thought he was going to run, and he passed across the body, running to his right, throwing to the left in the middle. You can't beat that one.
That got the touchdown. 3rd and 4 out of the shotgun. Roy Green started one way in motion and came back to his left. Taylor's coming. Pass is picked off. Mark Collins with his 2nd interception of the day. No, this is Walls. I beg your pardon.
In the nickel package, Everson Walls plays safety. Everyone always thought that he was going to end up there. But does he read this perfectly and get a jump on it? He sees it right now, you see, and he didn't go to make the hit. He took the angle to make the interception.
Pass intended for Roy Green. He and Walls have had many confrontations. After the interception by Walls, the Giants take over at the Eagle 47. They lead 14-10, 9:26 left, 3rd quarter. And off to Hampton. And Hampton is smothered by Clyde Simmons. Jerome Brown.
Let's watch the interception, Pat. Here's Everson Walls on nickel. He plays safety instead of corner. So you can see he's back there as the safety. Now, what a quarterback will do sometimes is they'll look at the guy that is chasing the guy they're going to throw to. And if we can stop it right here, see, Kemp is looking at this picture here. He sees a defender here and here, but he's not looking at this one, and he's the guy that picks it off. Everson Walls just stepped right in front of it and made the interception.
2nd and 10. Sims appeared to be calling audible. Dropped it, picked it up. Chased by Reggie White. The pass is caught. Incomplete. Odessa Turner.
Well, Odessa Turner must have been out of bounds. When the official throws his hat, that means that he was out of bounds. If a guy goes out of bounds, he can't come back inbounds and catch the ball.
That's exactly right.
You see now what they were saying. See, before he came back, he was out of bounds. He ran out of bounds and then came back, caught the ball inbounds. When the hat goes down, that means that he was out of bounds before that.
3rd and 10. Golick, now part of the Eagle defense. He and Pitts alternate. Ingram in motion. And Sims calls a timeout. Ingram yells something back to Phil. And then he called the timeout. 8:38 left, third quarter. At Summerall, John Madden, we're at Giants Stadium, where the Giants lead the Eagles 14-10. Third quarter, 8:38 left to play in the third. 3rd and 10. Giants at the Eagle 47 after the interception by Wall. Flag on the play. Sims is going to go through with it, but no, he's not. Reggie White took him down.
Yeah, you look at Reggie White, and the amazing thing about him is, you know, he's big and he's strong, but that he's as fast as he is. In fact, he went right by Doug Riesenberg. Doug Riesenberg hurt himself on this. Watch Reggie White. He's right here down at the bottom.
Offside.
And he is going to come. And he just comes with that arm under Riesenberg, just goes right by him and plants Phil Simms. Yeah, I was asking him the different types of move he has. He says he has a pop, shoulder, and go, a bull rush, a rip rush, a club rush, and a speed rush.
That was a rip.
You said, yeah, what did we just see? That was a rip.
3rd and 5.
When you got a guy that big and that strong and that fast and with that many moves, it's a long day.
Scary thing about it is that speed. The ball hit Joyner in the helmet, I think, and bounced away. And he hit the referee. He hit the referee in the head.
I think that's what Phil Simms was upset. He was telling that umpire, you see that the official was there, and he was telling that official, you got to get out of the way. You know, it's tough enough to complete a pass against the defense without having the official running in the way and getting in the way of your reception. That's what Phil Simms was upset about.
Vendetta back to punt it. Aiming for the corner. Odessa Turner threw it backwards, and the Giants were down it at the 1-yard line. Renee Thompson. A 40-yard punt down at the 1 by the Giants. They lead 14-10.
You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
You know, the official behind the defense right here is called the umpire. He's responsible for holding and stuff in this area. Usually when the ball snapped, he moves up. Now, he didn't move up. He moved back, and he was the official that got in the way. First of all, he's a little deep there, but see him not move up? He should go all the way up and watch those linemen. He stays deep, and right there, he gets in the way of Meggett and the ball and the reception. That would have been a completion, and that's why Phil Simms was mad.
Well, the Eagles take over deep in their own territory. Heath Sherman in the game as a running back. And Sherman gets outside the 5. That was a good effort. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage.
You know, and then after that play, we had another great play by Odessa Turner. Watch him. He catches the ball on a fly, just throws it back, which is legal. Everything is legal. And then it's touched down by Renee Thompson. That was a heck of a punt, heck of a play by Odessa Turner, and then good position by Renee Thompson. Not good position by the umpire.
No. 2nd down and about 5 at the 8 for the Eagles. Barnett with the man in motion. Kemp fake to Joseph, and he's off to the races. Jeff Kemp gets the Eagles some room. Outside the 20, a 16-yard scramble. Walls tripped him up.
And now they're taking advantage of Lawrence Taylor on this side again. Watch a bootleg. You fake your running back to that way, put the ball on your hip, and come bootlegging out. You see what it did to the defense? Watch, you fake to the right. See, the whole defense goes boom down there. You keep the ball. You come out here. You bootleg away from the flow. They took advantage of Lawrence Taylor on that one, and he just can't move. He just can't move to his right and get outside on that play.
He's out. Pepper Johnson moves outside in Taylor's place. Here's Kemp. Shovels it out to Byers with blockers in front. Byers is tripped up just as he made his cut. Back to the inside. Collins made the stop. Further word on Jim McMahon is he has no broken ribs, but he has bruised cartilage. in the rib area, and that's what's causing him the pain.
You know, and if you've ever had a rib cartilage, that's sometimes more painful than broken ribs. And rib cartilage is one of those things that you move your arm and your ribs hurt, you cough and your ribs hurt, you laugh and it hurts, and anything you do, any movement you make, it hurts in that area, and there's no way when it's fresh you can play football.
I wonder if Jim McMahon has any moving parts that haven't been hurt.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that was one of the problems with the MRI. They tried to put him in that machine, and the position that they had to put his right arm, elbow, and shoulder, he couldn't take that position.
Second and about a foot. Just over 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Byers is the running back. If he got a foot, that's about all. Now, you can get almost anything you want. If you're sick, they got help for you.
We never had stuff like that in the old days.
No.
Look, they got analgesic. They got stuff that sounds like Italian food. Band-Aids, they got your different kind, your basic rubs. And they got stuff for your ears, eyes, nose, throat. You got that whole thing. And then they got preps and stuff, solutions. That's what I need a lot of is solutions, ointments if you need an ointment.
I could use some ointments.
Suture if you want to stitch something up. Hand and finger. There's a foot, just plain old foot, not feet. Yeah, if you need parts, you got the parts here, moleskin, instruments.
You got, well, whatever you need.
I know it.
You got knees and stuff over there, knees, sleeves.
Assorted tapes. That's a neat little package. You just roll it out, you got everything you need. You can operate right there.
Here's Kemp back to throw it. Going deep. And the pass is caught by Barnett at about the 7-yard line. And Walls is still on the ground.
That's what we were talking to. That's what we were talking to Barnett about last night. And we were saying that Roy Green used to be able to run through zone defenses and still catch the ball when you're double teamed. Watch this. You shouldn't throw this pass. The guy's double teamed. There are 2 guys on Fred Barnett. He gets by both of the guys on him.
That's Guyton that's hurt. Walls was the other defender. He's okay. Guyton's still down.
But Barnett was saying if you have the speed, here's Barnett out here. Now if you have the speed, this is going to end up in a double team that you can run right through and right past a double team. Now watch him. He just does this with speed. You see it right there. Now they got him inside out. Now, if you can get a step right in that position right there, you can complete a pass against double teams and zones. I was telling Fred Barnett that Roy Green in the old days was one of the few guys that I ever saw that could do that. And he looked at me and he says, it's easy.
It's easy.
And then he just did it.
If you can run, it's easy. Tonight on CBS, okay, try this. What's the country and western capital of the United States? Nashville? No, it's not. It's Branson, Missouri. Branson, Missouri. That's right. They've got more theater seats than they have on Broadway. And 60 Minutes has a whole block of them reserved for tonight. Then it's Brooklyn Bridge. Bette Midler and Barbara Hershey star in the CBS Sunday movie Beaches. That's tonight on CBS.
Yeah, it looked like Myron Guyton, when he went down there, looked like something happened in the area of his helmet or his eyes. The doctor was checking that and having him read something, but then they're helping him off the field, you know, with both arms, but it looked like something happened in the area of the face or eyes.
There's a 57-yard gain, Kemp to Barnett.
You can look like they're down there with Myron Guyton, and it look like they're having him check his eyes, you know, to look down and then to look up to do those things. I'll tell you, that was a heck of a throw by Jeff Kemp into double coverage. And Fred Barnett just outrunning it and getting a step.
First and goal at the 8 for the Eagles. That's Joseph down to about the 5 with that last spin move. He got 3 yards.
You know, when you look at Jeff Kemp, you think he's not a big guy. He's only 6 foot. Most quarterbacks are in that 6'3", 6'4" range, but Jeff Kemp does and always has had a strong arm. And his dad was the same way. You know, I mean, not the big physical quarterback, but carried a big physical arm with him.
Threw the ball very hard. So does Jeff. And he can throw it a long way. Second and goal from the 5. Fake is to Byers. Kemp is chased by Taylor. Kemp down to about the 3. Banks made the stop. Lawrence Taylor just can't run.
Yeah, and they're taking advantage of that too. In fact, he probably shouldn't be in there because, you know, he just can't catch that one. Now, this isn't the worst thing. If he can just run on a straight line, he's okay. But it's when he has to make moves and come off of things and turns and stuff that he just can't do it. You know, you can just go so far on guts alone, and somewhere you have to have the rest of your parts working.
Third and goal at the 4. Here's Kemp. To Jackson, he had it and lost it. Incomplete. Harry Williams was right there, and the Eagles will have to settle for a field goal.
And that was a pretty good throw by Kemp. He got it into Jackson. Jackson has to catch that ball because Kemp had some cobwebs knocked in his head. I'll tell you, he's hurting too. They've already lost Jim McMahon to ribs.
Marshall put the heat on Kemp.
And watch it again. It's the hit there, but the biggest hit is after that when you hit the ground.
Ruzek with Beagles holding from 21 yards out. And it's 14-13 with 3:04 left to play in the third quarter.
There's a trainer of the Eagles, Otho Davis. You can see it's not a rib thing. He's rubbing the inside and back of Jeff Kemp's arm. He's also smiling. Otho Davis, one of the best trainers in all of football. One of the guys that, you know, when you think of most valuable guys on a team, sometimes you have to consider the trainer.
You really do.
And he's been a trainer who's always been considered, always a friend of the players, looking out for the best of the players, and one of the top guys in his profession.
Well, they become almost confidants for almost any player who's been hurt.
Well, you know, a bunch of the Eagles on Monday night had the flu, and Otho Davis made up a concoction called the flu cocktail, and everyone took the flu cocktail and they got better. Looks like Lawrence Taylor was about to start to change his knee brace or take off his knee brace, and I think that's what he's doing over there. He probably figures that the knee brace is slowing him up or slowing him down. He's probably going to take the brace off and see how he can do without the knee brace.
Well, you can just see he couldn't run. Ruzek's kickoff. That was the longest Eagle drive of the year, by the way. It started all the way back at the 3-yard line. That's Hampton. Got one man to beat. Otis Smith finally knocked him out of bounds. 51-yard kickoff return by Hampton. And they're right back in good shape again.
The Giants are doing what they have to. They're the other areas. You can't rely on your offense to do it by yourself. Your defense has to do it, and your special teams have to do it. And you can see there Lawrence Taylor's taking off his pants, and they're starting to take off that big knee brace on his left knee.
First down at the 42. Timeout Eagles. Lawrence Taylor.
You know, maybe they're just adjusting that knee brace too before they decide to take it off. So what they're doing is they've taken the brace off, and instead of going with the brace, he's going to try and go with a tape job.
Sometimes you get so much equipment on you just can't move. Saturday's lineup starts at noon Eastern with the NFL Today. The last word before kickoff. Then at 12:30 Eastern, the NFL on CBS continues when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Chicago Bears. Then at 3:45 Eastern time, it's college basketball. The number 1 ranked Duke Blue Devils travel to Ann Arbor, Michigan to play the Wolverines. That's Saturday. Right where you are right now here on CBS. 1st and 10. Less than 3 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. Otis Anderson is the Giant runner. Sims going to work for Odessa Turner. Incomplete. Whoa, that's close.
Boy, that was close. They put O.J. Anderson in there to pick up a blitz. Ray Hanley says we got to take some shots. You see O.J. boom, he picks up the blitz there. Sims lets it all go. Odessa Turner has a step on this end. Now he has the 1 foot in, and I think the ball crossed the plane. You see, if he's up in the air and if he gets pushed, then you can't count out of bounds. But I think the ball broke the plane of the end zone anyway.
He hit the pylon with his foot.
I don't know that they shouldn't review that one because they have to look if the ball broke the plane.
Here's Sims back to throw it. It's all academic now. Sims from behind. Clyde Simmons around the corner. That's the 3rd sack by the Eagles today.
Jumbo Elliott had been doing a pretty good job over there on Clyde Simmons. And you see Simmons just gets that arm around, and then he tries to rip with the other arm, and he comes in the backside. And then after he got there, he didn't just want to sack, he wanted to strip and a fumble too. It's amazing all the moves that these defensive ends have, the rips and the arm over and the speed. And
they're almost like the pass receivers now with all those moves.
You know, and I think Clyde Simmons used a combination of 2 or 3 on Jumbo Elliott.
3rd down. Sims. Pass is picked off by Otis Smith. Eagle football. Ed McCaffrey was the intended receiver.
I think that was Phil Sims took too much off of that one. You know, I think he thought he had McCaffrey. Instead of drilling it, instead of taking that ball and zipping it in there, he kind of laid it out there. And he laid it out there a little too much, and that let Otis Smith come underneath and make the pickoff.
That's his first career interception.
I'll tell you, he's going to take that ball home with him, and Phil Sims is going to know that. Phil Sims knows that he took too much off of that ball.
Kemp, the quarterback. 1st and 10 Eagles at their own 39-yard line. They trail by a point. Kemp is back to throw. Gets it outside to Keith Jackson. Jackson, with a good second effort, gets close to 1st down yardage. Banks. And Pepper Johnson. Flag on the play. The Eagles look like it's against the Giants.
Now, that's the unnecessary roughness, and that's a big 15-yard penalty. That's going to put him well into Giant territory.
Unnecessary roughness, number 99 on New York after the play is over. 1st down.
1st down Eagles. They are down by a point.
Number 99 was Steve Diassi. We're talking about Jim McMahon wearing that shield. Diassi was probably the first guy to wear the shield.
Johnson was the man in motion. This is Byers. Byers hammers down to about the 27-28. We're at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of East Rutherford, New Jersey. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Third quarter, a minute 20 left now. And the Giants leading the Eagles by a point.
You know, Myron Guyton, I see Pat is back in there. They say that what happened on that play that Fred Barnett caught that big deep one against double coverage, that Guyton had his eye scratched, and that's what it looked like they were taking care of in the sideline, and that's what it was. He's okay and back in there now. 2nd and 2 at the 28.
Byers again. Byers will have an Eagle first down. Pepper Johnson on the stop. He needed 2, he got 2.
You know, you look at Lawrence Taylor's leg now, and we saw him put that tape job on, and I think they put the brace back on over the tape job because he looks like he has more now on that left leg than he had before. So instead of getting less equipment on it, they were taking the pants off to put more equipment in or protection on that left knee.
They're going to measure to see if Byers got the first down. It appeared that he did. And he did. The Eagles have 15 first downs. The Giants have only 6.
Now, the Giants just haven't been able to put anything together, and the Eagles have a lot of Jeff Kemp. I mean, Jeff Kemp's bootlegging and running have been a big part of their offense.
James Joseph is the running back this time. Johnson in motion. Kemp got away from Taylor. Hit by Pepper Johnson. Now that's an open field tackle.
That's what they needed. That's that same hole that we talked about before, where Lawrence Taylor comes up the field. You see on the left-hand side of the screen, you see that gap in there. When he comes up the field, they've made big yardage in that gap. But they're not going to make big yardage if Pepper Johnson fills it like that.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Giants 14, the Eagles 13. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Getting ready for the fourth quarter at Giants Stadium. And it hasn't been a kind quarter to the Giants during the year. What has happened to them?
Well, you know, they talk about pride, and this is going to be a pride week and all this. Pride isn't something Wednesday and Thursday or Friday you're talking about on Saturday. Pride is something you do on Sunday in the fourth quarter.
Hit the throw, Marshall after it. Leonard Marshall. What a big play that is. They were in field goal range. He took them right out.
Maybe that's it. You talk about guys. Here's Leonard Marshall, and when he gets by and he gets to a point right here, he takes off and looks like a sprinter. He comes outside of Heller. Now watch at the point right there. When he gets by Heller, he can smell that quarterback, and he looks like a sprinter going down there. He wasn't standing straight up. He wasn't back on his heels. He was leaned forward going after someone.
3rd and 29, a loss of 15. That was a big play.
Now they need another one.
Kemp wants a timeout. They have one left. Just started the fourth quarter.
This game summary is sponsored by Cannon.
Jim McMahon of the Eagles out with a rib injury. Jeff Kemp has taken his place. Turnovers, there have been 5, 3 by the Giants, 2 by the Eagles. The Eagles well on top in total yardage. And they do have some fans here. They're outnumbered. She looks like she's in dangerous country.
She knows it's 3rd down, and it's a big down for the Eagles.
3rd and 29. Roy Green in motion. Kemp again is chased out of the pocket. Calvin Williams gets it down to about the 35, an 11-yard gain.
Well, Jeff Kemp on one play lost the field goal range when Leonard Marshall sacked him, and you wonder if that's enough to get him back in field goal range, because this would be about a 51-yard field goal.
51, 52, something in that area. 50, 51, you're right.
So they're going to try it. So Leonard Marshall came up with the big sack that put him out of it. Jeff Kemp got a completion that put him into this position.
Ruzick got it from 51 yards. The Eagles take the lead, 16-14.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Travelers. You're better off under the umbrella. Canon, photographic consultant to the National Football League. And by Miller Lite. It's it. And that's that.
Pat Summerall with John Madden at Giants Stadium, where the Eagles have just taken the lead for the first time today. Ruzick's third field goal, this one from 51 yards. The Eagles are up by 2, 16-14. Line drive kickoff deep into the end zone. Meggett will down it there.
You know, that third down play was a big play Jeff Kemp made, because Ruzick makes the kick, but if Kemp doesn't make this play, Ruzick doesn't make the kick. The loose zone will bite the Giants here because Kemp is able to run. Now, the more he runs, the looser that zone gets, and then you can catch passes in front of him. So Leonard Marshall made the big play to knock him out of field goal range. Jeff Kemp made the big play to get him back in field goal range, and of course Ruzick made the kick.
This is 2 games in a row that Jeff Kemp has done a heck of a job replacing McMahon. That's Hampton. For a gain of 4, stopped by Reggie White. The second half, particularly the fourth quarter, has really haunted the Giants.
Yeah, you know, you're supposed to build things in the first 3 and then take advantage of them in the fourth, and the Giants haven't built anything. You see, in the second half, they've just come out 3 plays and punt every time. They just can't get the running game going. The defensive line isn't going to dominate, and this offensive line isn't going to dominate the defensive line, and they can't get the passes going.
2nd and 6. This is Hampton again. Tripped up by Byron Evans. Cut back for 4 yards, a little bit short of the first down.
Ray Hanley there is looking for a play here for 3rd and short. Looks like he's going a short yardage play. He puts Cratch in. Cratch goes in and plays guard.
Maurice Carthon, the outstanding blocker, also in with Cratch.
And then Roberts becomes the tight end. Usually means a running play.
First down, Giants. Hampton, left side.
Well, Ray Hanley looked at his sheet, found a good play, go the old 3 tight ends, run the old power on the left side, get a first down. Now, here's where you have to do something on first down. See that good block by Jumbo Elliott. Jumbo Elliott, the left tackle, he's the guy that got movement. He got movement on Mike Golick, and that was the block. His block was the one that let him get the first down.
That's the Giants' first down of the second half. Eagles up by 2 points. Jumbo jump.
Well, you got to stick something in that inside hole, and you see that Clyde Simmons was going to take an inside move on him.
Number 76 offense, moving prior to the
Watch
snap.
Jumbo there, 76. He goes right there. He's taking away that inside move. See that club, the head slap, the arm under? Clyde Simmons was getting ready to do all that stuff to Jumbo, and Jumbo jumped, getting ready for Clyde Simmons.
That'll make it first and 15. Substitutes Meggett arriving late, and he'll split wide to the left. Now Baker moves over to the left. Hampton remains behind Sims, and he has to take a timeout.
Every time they go to something, 3 or 4 wide receivers to spread them out, it seems like they get fouled up and always have to take a timeout.
4th time today. The Eagles 16, the Giants 14. Lawrence Taylor, you think he hadn't got some equipment on?
Well, you know, they're still working on that brace. A lot of times, Pat, the brace will start to slide on them. You know, as you sweat and your knee swells and stuff and everything's changed and it starts to move. And it looks like they keep taking it off to try and tighten it up. It's probably sliding up and down and sideways and getting in the way. And it's tough enough to play this game without all that equipment, but with all that equipment it's very difficult. William Roberts. 66 is still ineligible, they said. If they get a first down and he's eligible, he has to go out for a play. I guess he wasn't eligible, so they were just saying he's still ineligible.
Anderson is back in the backfield with Sims now. Sims out of the pocket, chased, hit from behind, but the arm was going forward. Reggie White wound up with the ball. Clyde Simmons made the hurry on Sims.
Watch Reggie. He makes a good pass rush here. Starts to the outside. Uses a club there. See, that's a club. Then he comes back inside. Runs right by Phil Sims, or Phil Sims steps around him. Then if he steps around him, he goes to throw. There's another one there. But you talk about a club. That was a perfect example of a club right there.
That one shot knocked Riesenberg backwards and down.
That is tough.
2nd down at 15. Sims to throw it. Has to come up in the pocket. Pass is caught and dropped. Baker, Ingram. But there's a flag on the play.
Richie Kotite, the head coach of the Eagles, threw his hat. He's out on the field. The official threw a flag. The ball was down. Everything was happening. This is exciting. When you get into the 4th quarter of a division rivalry, you got some stuff flying. Flags, hats, helmets, heads, everything's flying here. I'll tell you, I think that's
Pass
pretty good defense. Whew.
Number 38 defense. First down for New York at the spot.
Rich Miano.
He comes in there, and he looks like he just reaches right over after the ball gets there. I think, to me, that looked like good defense or a very, very touchy call, which I think there's been a few of today.
It's 1st and 10, and Anderson gets the carry. Stop by Joyner for an NFL update. Let's send you again back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Pat and John at Texas Stadium. Tommy Agee, 4 yards and a touchdown. Looks to put a cap on a Dallas victory. The Saints on the verge of losing their 4th in a row. Still haven't clinched a playoff berth. We'll have all the highlights coming up on the postgame at 23-14. Cowboys. Pat?
Back at Giant Stadium at 16-14 Philadelphia. Those Saints are having all kind of trouble. Anderson moved the pile a little bit. Reggie White on the bottom of the defense.
Yeah, the Giants, I think, are just hanging by a string here. They're the defending Super Bowl champion. They got O.J. Anderson in there now, who was the MVP in the championship and the Super Bowl. They can see this season kind of getting out of their grasp, and they're kind of taking one last shot at it here. And you're going to do that. The first thing you have to do is get in field goal position. Get in position to kick a field goal.
Anderson, with those fresh legs, gets the carry again. He's pushed to a first down.
This is going to depend on where they spot it, where that official puts his foot down. They get a right foot, they get a first down. In fact, they did get a right foot, and it is a first down. O.J. Anderson still has that movement and power in the hole. You see Pitts overruns the play. That creates a hole, and O.J. just knows just where you have to get that ball.
He's always been that kind of runner, that instinctive runner.
Funny, they leave him over there in the Cape most of the year, and now they really need one, and O.J.'s in there.
O.J. flea flicker back to Sims. Can't find anybody, and finally got Ingram. Ingram out of bounds at about the 15. Andre Waters knocked him out of bounds. 32-yard gain.
Bill Sims showed a lot of patience there because he was trying to go to Stephen Baker. It's a flea flicker. Baker is a guy who's going deep. You see him look deep, look deep. He doesn't have Baker. He comes off a flea flicker going to your secondary receiver. It's a heck of a play by Phil Sims. Flea flicker, looking deep, trying to fool him. You got the patience to wait. Look, find your secondary receiver and hit him on the run.
Anderson at the line of scrimmage, knocked backwards. The defensive charge led by Pitts.
You know, the guy that set up that flea flicker was O.J. Anderson.
Sure.
One, by running, so they had to tighten up. Two, by taking that ball deep up in there and then getting it back. And these fans realize what O.J. Anderson did on this drive.
He gets a rest, and Hampton is back. That was their first pass completion of the second half. That flea flicker. Second and 8.
They had to loosen the defense up, and that's the first time they've loosened it up at all this half.
Hampton right at the line of scrimmage, stopped by Seth Joyner and Byron Evans. Third down, 8 minutes left to play. The Eagles up by 2.
O.J. staying over there. He's staying ready. I think they knew the thing they had to do was get that ball in field goal range, and they did it. Look at this statistic here. The Giants have run 22 times. The Eagle defense has made 12 tackles. That was the thing that Ray Hanley says we have to get it where the Eagle defensive line doesn't make the tackle.
Third and 10. Seems to throw it. Reggie White right on his face. The pass for Turner incomplete. Reggie White went inside Riesenberg.
And it was that same move again. You start outside and you come in with that club. Reggie White needed a big pass rush. He gets it here. Watch him. He's up at the top of the screen. See, he starts outside. Boom. Clubs him. And then after the club, you go to the inside. I tell you, when he clubs him, that guy goes. I mean, he's clubbing like a 290-pound guy, and he clubs him, flies through the air.
Kavanaugh over for Barr. No good. And so the Eagles will take over. Remember, Jeff Hostetler had been the holder for Matt Barr. Now it's Kavanaugh. That's not to make an excuse.
Oh, well, the Giants offense did everything they had to. Of course, they didn't get the shot there because they didn't get Reggie White blocked on third down. Maybe they could have taken a shot on second down. Third down's a tough time to take a shot, but they did get in position to kick the field goal and missed it.
Over the second. Kemp headed for the sideline.
Timeout. New York. That's their third and last. Stars timeout.
It's a Giant timeout, and that's all they have. Steve Diassi behind the mask. Coming up after football, it's the Chrysler Plymouth Tournament of Champions from Deer Valley, Utah. Skiing champions from all eras go head-to-head in a handicap dual slalom format as they try for the gold once again. Skiing after football here on CBS.
I think the Giants probably didn't realize Lawrence Taylor wasn't in there. They only had 10 guys on the field. They had to take a timeout. And this has been a very difficult and frustrating season for the Giants. And I think that last drive kind of capped off a lot of things.
Byers on first down around the corner. Keith Byers.
You know, one thing you have to be able to do after any bad plays, you have to be able to clean out your mind, put it away, and then start a new one. And, you know, there's still 7 minutes left. The Eagles are only ahead by 2. And you can't get so down that you get out, because they're still in good position. All they need is a field goal to win this game. The Eagles, they have to think they need some first downs.
That's Carl Banks, who's out of bounds. Went all the way out of bounds. Looks like he got scratched in the eye.
That happened over here in the Eagles sideline. The Giant trainers have running over to get him. Banks is still pointing back at that sideline.
That's the final score. Denver is in the playoffs. See what happened to Banks. We can.
Well, you're going to see right there. You see the finger in the eye? The right finger goes right in his eye. There's Antone Davis, the rookie right tackle.
First and 10. Byers got 12 yards on that carry. He'll get another carry. Into the secondary is Byers, another Eagle first down. Greg Jackson made the stop.
See, this is where pride comes up. You know, you talk about pride. Okay, you missed a field goal. Now you have to go in there. Now you need your defense. Now you have to stop them. The Eagles are on the other side. Okay, we dodged a bullet there. Now we have to take the game over. We have to take control of the ball. We have to run it. They're doing their part. Somewhere here, the Giants' defense has to make a play.
The face of Bart Oates would pretty well tell you the story. Taylor is now back in the game.
I think they know if they lose today, they're not going to talk about playoffs anymore this year.
Camp again to Byers. This time hit right at the line of scrimmage by Pepper Johnson. Marshall trying to rip the ball loose from Byers.
See, again, with 6 minutes left to go, time is not important yet, although they don't have any timeouts. But Lawrence Taylor's been having that knee taped and retaped all day, and I'll tell you, he is just playing on guts alone because he's having a tough time out there today.
He really, all day long he has. And it seems to get worse and worse.
Well, he just can't move, and when you really can't move, then that makes you a sitting target.
Kemp back to throw it. Out of the pocket he comes. Pass is complete. Calvin Williams, a 16-yard pickup. Kemp has really done a job.
I was just going to say that if you have to pick out an MVP in this game for the Eagles, you'd have to say it's Jeff Kemp, because he's made a lot of these things on his own. He dropped back. There was no one open. He had to wait. Pretty good pass protection. Then he gives his receivers time to make moves. You see, like this, you can't cover them forever. They just keep running. They go all the way across the field only because he scrambled out of there.
First and 10 Eagles at the Giant 36. Now 4.5 minutes left to play. The Eagles 16, the Giants 14. Joseph bounces away from 2 tacklers. And Joseph gets down to about the 32. Pepper Johnson finally stopped him. He got 4 yards from nothing.
I think that's what the Eagles are doing today. Just enough running and then Kemp's passing to keep taking time off the clock. Watch him here. Taylor breaks through free. But you see, he just can't use that leg. So the minute he makes contact, boom, both feet come out of the ground. That's usually how you tell if someone really has a bad leg, when they can't plant a foot and keep it in the ground.
Second and 6 at the Giant 32. The Eagles 16, the Giants 14. Less than 4 minutes remain. Here's Joseph. Another Eagle first down. Pepper Johnson made the stop. Joseph got 8.
I'll tell you one thing. They're going to talk about Matt Barr missing that field goal, and that hurt. But the other thing that the Eagles have done, they got that, and they've driven the ball down the field. I mean, and they've taken it to them. Kemp has made a couple passes, but boom, the offensive line is taking over. They're getting a push on the defense. The running backs are running hard and tough.
Very dejected last year's hero. First down Eagles at the Giant 24. And off again to Joseph. 2-yard gain, stopped by Eric Howard. You know, this is the first time since last year's Super Bowl that the Giants have had available Howard, Dorsey, and Leonard Marshall all at the same time. And that's hurt.
That's right, because when Howard played the first couple games, Dorsey was out, then Dorsey came back, and Howard was out with back surgery, and that's been a big part of the Giants' problem this year. I think they got caught up in that quarterback thing, but over the years they had a dominant defense. This year, they don't have a dominant defense.
They spent a lot of time on the field this year. This drive, 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Barnett, the man in motion. The handoff is to Joseph. To about the 17. Stopped by Mark Collins. Joseph got 4. They're still scrambling for the ball.
See, this is where it comes in. You know, all those things you're talking about, pride, dedication, fight, teammanship, you need it in the fourth quarter.
2 minutes remain. The Eagles up by 2. Don't forget, next Saturday it begins at noon with the NFL Today, and then the Chicago Bears, who won today, entertain Tampa Bay at Soldier Field, Chicago. Bears led by Harbaugh. They should have Neil Anderson back by then. Muster had 2 touchdowns today. It all starts at 12 o'clock. Here at Giant Stadium, it's 16-14, the Eagles leading. 3 field goals by Ruzek. Touchdown pass by Jeff Kent. 3rd and 5 it is. At the Giant 19. Here's Kent to throw it. Just throws it on the ground.
It looked like he made a decision halfway there, like his arm was going out there, and about halfway he said, no, I don't want it. He just stopped and threw it into the dirt, which is pretty smart, because when you get 3rd down and you get down there, you don't want to force anything. That's what Rich Kotite is telling. Good, that's okay. That's okay.
Ruzek will try from 36 yards away with Jeff Fiegel's holding. He's 3 for 3, including a 51-yarder earlier. He's 4 for 4. 19-14. The Eagles now lead it. The Giants have the ball. They have will get the ball. With no timeouts left in 1 minute and 53 seconds, they need a touchdown.
And that's plenty of time. I mean, the tough thing, I should say, is they used up all their timeouts on those 3 and 4 wide receiver formations and motion and stuff, so they have no timeouts. But with 153, you can move the ball down and get in a position to take some shots at the end zone. They don't need a field goal here. They're talking about a touchdown.
That was a big drive by the Eagles. They kept the ball 5 minutes and 27 seconds to move down and get the field goal.
And I think that was the key thing, probably more important than the yards or the number of plays, or maybe even the field goal, was how much time they took off the clock.
Meggett and Hampton will be deep for the Giants.
And Ray Handley's probably talking to Phil Simms over there that you don't have to get it all in the first play. You know, you can have a little patience.
Ruzek's been a big part. take it. It goes into the end zone and bounces out of bounds about 5 yards deep into the end zone. So they'll start from the 20.
Now the most important thing for the Giants is pass protection, because they're out of that thing where they're going to run anymore. You don't have the run, or you don't have the threat of the run. Phil Simms is saying, okay, quiet. We got the offense now. We have to be able to hear in the huddle, and we have to be able to hear audibles on the line of scrimmage.
They have to go 80 yards with no timeouts.
And probably there's as much pressure on Doug Riesenberg as there is on Phil Simms right here.
He has to block Reggie White. Jerome Brown hit Simms, but it was Reggie White who flushed him out of the pocket.
That's exactly right, and they had Reggie White double teamed too. Watch Reggie White come from the outside. You see the fact that they take Oates out. Oates comes out to help Riesenberg, and that gives Jerome Brown the hole in to pick out the flush. That's what Jerome Brown is smiling about. He loves it when he can work on a guard and that center pulls out and gives him that hole.
Second and 10. Simmons came around the corner, got a hand up and knocked it down. Seth Joyner put on a little pressure.
You see that's what Reggie White does, is because Riesenberg is having trouble with him, they bring Bart Oates out. Now when they bring Bart Oates out, watch the center, 65. You see when he pulls out and he's looking up there, now that puts a double there. Now that opens everything else up in here because he is committed to here, so that opens up the middle, and that's what's causing the pressure on Phil Simms now. And it all starts with what they're trying to do to Reggie White.
Well, they're going to have to double him. Joyner chases Simms, and down he goes. Fumble. Riesenberg made the recovery. 4 sacks by the Eagles. That's about what they average.
Lawrence Taylor knows that the end of a playoff for this team is here.
If Atlanta wins in Los Angeles and the Eagles win it here, that mathematically eliminates the Giants.
Yeah, but they haven't been playing like a playoff team anyway. I mean, they played a lot better today, but last week against Cincinnati, I think, was the start of the end.
That's the one that really hurt him. Here's Simms. Incomplete. Odessa Turner was the intended receiver. A minute and 3 seconds on the game clock. The Eagles will take over. I imagine it's been a very, very long year for a lot of people dressed in blue.
You know, and then on the other side, this will be 6 in a row for the Philadelphia Eagles, which is the longest winning streak in the NFL.
It'll be 7 out of 8 against the Giants.
They just have their number, and you think of the Eagles and the job they've done, and Rich Kotite, what a job he's done in his first year as head coach of the Eagles. Ray Handley in his first year has had a very difficult time. I think he's probably had as tough a job as you can starting with a team that won the Super Bowl the year before, and here's a guy, Rich Kotite, who has done a great job with this Eagle team.
An ex-Giant player. Back when the years were really lean.
Early in the season, he played 5 quarterbacks.
Houston has won, and they have clinched the AFC Central for the first time ever.
I look over in that bench and see a Reggie White. I think if I had to build a team and take one player, I'd probably take him.
You certainly couldn't go wrong with that choice. this Eagle team. Once again, the final score from Giants Stadium was Philadelphia 19, the Giants 14. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show. Greg and Terry will have all the scores, the highlights, and a complete playoff picture. You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.